Hey there, NavyDoc5184 here, and welcome to another music reaction. Today I'm reacting to Ted Neeley performing the song Gethsemane. This is from the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, which he starred in. I believe it was in 1973. He actually played the role of Jesus, and this is the song that he is definitely probably very famous for. And I will say this, in terms of musical numbers, this is probably my absolute favorite. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite musical. In fact, I can even say that even as a Christian, I have some issues with this musical, but I do thoroughly enjoy it. Like I said, if you're gonna ask me to tell you anything where I really feel like they hit the story of Jesus really well, I'm not going to put this in my top levels, but one thing I do appreciate is I do appreciate a lot of parts where they really, I guess you could say, focus on the human element, because I know that even Christians, I think, sometimes forget that when Jesus was on earth, he was a human being. He dealt with human problems, and I think that this musical really touches on that very well. So that is something I actually very much appreciate. And that's what I really appreciate about this song. I'll probably get more into it in my epilogue, but this song, I think, really, with his prayer at Gethsemane, I think this song really hits really just the weight of everything that Christ was really feeling, up to that point, knowing what was coming, and asking for the strength to continue to do this. And I think this song really hits that human element so well of, really questioning, is this worth doing? What is the point of doing this? Then finally submitting to the fact that, yes, this is what I'm here to do, but acknowledging that he needed the strength to do it. And they do touch on that in the Bible. I mean, they see that in the Bible, but I don't think you really get the full sense of really just all the weight he was feeling. So that's enough for me up to this point. We will go ahead and get started with the song. I'm very anxious to see how Ted pulled this off, especially since I think he was 80 years old when doing this. So this is going to be something to see. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. I will leave a link to the original video in the description below. Let's go ahead and get started. I hear the music starting like right at the end of the Last Supper song. They do have some real beautiful numbers in this musical, I will say that. But this is the one for me. So this, oh yeah, this was 2023, so 50-year anniversary, wow. I like what they're doing, how they're having the actual scene from the movie playing along as he's doing this. Wow, he looks good for 80.
I only want to say,
sounds decent still too.
if there is a way, take this cup away from me, for I don't want to taste its poison. Feel it burn me. I have changed. I'm not as sure as when we started.
See, that first verse right there was exactly kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of this video. They hit the exact prayer pretty much that you read in the Bible where he asked God to take that cup away from him. But I like the fact that they expand on that part where he says, he doesn't want to, taste its poison. And then he talks about how he's not as sure as when he started, showing that human element that is still very real and raw with him at the time. Yes, he did submit to God's plan and all that, but I appreciate the fact that they showed that, yes, he is still human. And just like any of us that know, like, we have a calling, we're going to probably sense that doubt and wonder, it's like you're very excited at first when it starts, but then when you start going through the grind, you start to feel a little less sure. And I think he touches on that so beautifully in this song. And I think it's something that really, I think, in a way, makes Jesus a lot more relatable to, I guess you could say, like, atheists, agnostics, or anything like that. But, Again, that's just me. That's just me. Oh, here we go.
Then I was inspired. Now I'm sad
See
and tired.
what I just said.
Listen, surely I've exceeded expectation. I tried for 3 years, seems like 30. Could you ask as much from any other man?
I gotta say with Ted, he hits this so well, just really going through like the inner turmoil and anguish that Jesus is feeling at this point. You know, oh man, he does so well, and the fact that he's still doing this so well at 80, that is absolutely amazing. This dude is, I mean, I don't know if there's anybody that could do this any better, just really getting the turmoil and anguish that he is feeling at this point in time, knowing what's coming up and wondering if he can go through with it. And again, I think that just makes it so much more relatable because anyone who has a calling, as I said before, and as he kind of just said in the song, it's like when you start, you just feel so inspired, but then when you finally go through the grind of everything, you just get so tired. And, you're just like, is there really more I have to do? Like you said, it's like, could you ask as much as any other man? Because at that point, he's like, do I really, it's like, considering everything I've done, do I really have to continue going this far? And see, and the thing is, and I think that's the thing that people got to understand, especially as Christians, there is nothing wrong with feeling that way. It's just a matter of what you do with it. And I know he gets to it later on in the song, so I won't touch on that point right now, but that's the whole idea is I think Christians sometimes forget is, all these negative feelings and everything you get, it's not necessarily a bad thing to feel those. It's what you do with those feelings at the end that really matter. But we will continue the song. Like I said, I know this is a point I'm going to hit on later.
What if I see this saga through and do the things?
And if you see in the background, that's one thing I love what they did in the movie with this. Is if you watch Ted in the movie, even here, notice how he's looking up as he's singing, as if he is singing to God. I'm not gonna lie, this song always gets to me emotionally when I listen to it. Because again, it's just so relatable. Alright. Here's the part. If you've heard the song, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, Ted, what you got? My man. How'd he still do that? 80 years old, how'd he still do that? And you know what? This is like the part of the song for me that really starts getting to me because you hear everything building and building and building and building. And then finally right here, he just lets everything go. He lets everything loose. You feel that, and it's finally, now he's finally at to the point now where he's like, okay, now I really need to know what is the point of this. What's the end game to this? And just that note, that that kind of like visceral, guttural yell of why. And that is like the biggest question. Like when people get to that point where it's fine, but it's like, why? What is the whole purpose of this? And again, just that visceral, guttural yell of it that he pulls off. and still pulled off so freaking well. But what I want you to do, and you may have to rewind this a few times, but I mean, I'm actually going to rewind it myself a little bit before I pause this, probably go back to that yell. But I want to go back and forth, kind of watching him as he's performing this and then watching the background of this, because you can even see it in the face. It's like, God, I need to know why. And it's so amazing how hard he hits that. I mean, good gracious. I can't believe he pulled that off so well. All right, let's get back to it. This part in particular, look at that. You can even see like the desperation in his voice. He desperately wants to know. Turning point number 2 right here though. The submission. Even now, yo, they hit me. Because that's like where it really gets me right there. When he finally submits. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of appreciate this part right now. Oh. Alright, good pausing point because, oh my goodness. As I was saying before it finally hit me with the big wave, it was that part where he finally, submits and, it's like, alright, I'll die. That part right there, while so simple, and he's still in his very visceral, state of mind, almost animalistic in a way, where up to that point, he's just telling him, it's like, I don't know if I can go through this. Why do you need me to go through this? Is my death can be in vain? It's like, can you give me any reason, why you want me to do this? But then, and this is, as I was saying before, there's nothing wrong with the asking of the questions, with the feelings of the feelings. What do you do with those feelings? And he knew this was God. He knew what God's plan was for him. He knew what he was there to do, and he was doubting whether he could, doubting whether he even wanted to, is he still going to do it? But in the end, he says, all right, I'll do it. And that is the thing. It didn't matter that he was feeling the doubt. He was feeling the fear, that he may not have been as enthusiastic up, than he was when he first started this whole thing. Even though from the beginning he knew what it was, but now that he's getting closer to that part, it's like, well, considering everything I've done, do I really have to do that? But in the end, to still submit to doing God's will, that to me is the huge thing. And that's why, not even just in this movie, but even in the story of Jesus itself, that's the one thing that I always try to really hold on to so much when I feel doubt, fear, or anything. Christ felt that too, and he willingly admitted that if it was possible, to, have it be done another way. But in the end, he said, your will be done, not mine. And that's the part where right here, even though he's a little bit more visceral at that part, at that, in the end, it's still a submission, and it's him, basically he says it, all right, I'll die, see how I die? Watch me die. It's basically, all right, we're doing this thing. Whether I like it or not, we're doing this thing. And look at how he's acting that anguish too. Absolutely wonderful.
I was inspired. Now, I'm sad and tired. After all, I've tried for 3 years. Seems like 90. Why then am I
I mean, and that's a huge weight to bear too, knowing what's coming up.
what I started, what you started. I didn't start it.
That's a huge line right there if you think about it.
Thy will is hard, but you hold every card. I will drink your cup of poison, nail to your cross and break me, leave me, beat me, kill me, take me down before I change my mind.
And I'm not gonna lie, I appreciate that last line too. Oh, Carl Anderson. Wow. All right, y'all. That was Ted Neeley performing Gethsemane, 50-year anniversary for Jesus Christ Superstar. And man, oh man, did he knock that out of the park. 80 years old, and he absolutely crushed it. My goodness, that was amazing. That was amazing. And I think, what it was is, when you look back and forth, because I was looking back and forth between his actual performance, looking back at the background of, the scene from the movie and everything, and him hitting those emotions so well. And one of the things that I noticed near the end is if you looked at it, like at the end when he was talking about, God, thy will is hard, but you hold every card. And when he said that, I will drink your cup of poison. If you looked at the background when they showed from the movie, if you noticed a little bit how he seemed to have a little bit more of resolve that kind of came back into his face. He didn't look so distraught, so desperate. It looked like he had gotten a little bit of his resolve back, which really kind of goes in line with what it did in the Bible when the angel came to give him comfort, and to give him strength to go on, which was probably what gave him the strength he needed to continue. And in a way, without showing it, that's probably exactly what that part was, signifying, was the fact that, even though he had these doubts and initially was asking to have it taken away, but when he submitted and just said, whatever it is you want me to do is what I'll do. And that's when he gets his resolve to continue to go through it. And that's why I always appreciate that part of Christ's story on there, because I think that's one of the things where he is the most relatable to us, because when you look at what everybody always says about Jesus, which it's not that it's wrong to talk about how great he is, all the miracles he's performed and everything new, but I think what a lot of people forget is you have those moments where, he is just like us, think about the times when he was tempted by Satan, this moment right here where he actually, when you really think about it, really wanted to back out from his purpose. But, he had the foresight to know that, no, I have to continue to do this. Now, I can't do it on my own. I need you to give me some strength. I need you to give me some help. But that's the whole thing is, if it's the purpose that God gave for you, then he's going to provide you with what you need to carry on through. You just have to be willing to, submit yourself to that. And that's why I love not just this part of the story, but this song so much, because this song I think really goes into really just showing just how much he probably really wanted out of this, and really showed very well the human side of Jesus, and showing that even he as the Son of God was like, do I really need to do this? But also as a Son of God realizing that yes, I do, but I need a little help, and I need you to give me the strength to do this. And that is the mindset that, anyone as a Christian needs to adopt. You know, just because you're feeling doubts about what you feel like you may be called to do, that doesn't mean, if you start feeling the doubt, that doesn't mean that, oh, maybe you're wrong. It just, you're being human. You know, you're starting to realize really the weight and gravity of what this calling might entail, and you just may need a little help. Just submit to the task, but it's okay to admit, hey, can you throw me a bone here and give me some strength to do this? That's why I love so much about this. But can we again just talk about Ted Neeley pulling this off so hardcore at the age of 80? Holy cow. I mean, he's... Now, granted, this was 2023, so he's probably 81 now. I wonder if he did this again in 2024. I'm going to have to look that up, because I just saw that this was 2023. But either which way, good Lord, Ted, my man. My man. I think that's about all I can say is my man. I don't think anything else needs to be said. He did this just as well as he did back in 73, and you know, if he did this again in 24, I will hunt that video down and watch it again. Though I did notice at the end when they showed, you know, Judas coming up, man, Carl Anderson, what another talent, you know, that we were blessed with to get in this musical. Unfortunately, gone too soon, but man, oh man, that... I need to get into more of Carl's work, because he was really good in Jesus Christ Superstar as well. So I need to get some more Carl Anderson stuff too. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for this video. And I'm going to thank you if you stuck around this long. I know that was a lot of really a lot of personal stuff, you know, in terms of my own faith and everything. But if you have made it this far, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you can be informed anytime I upload a new reaction video. And if you'd like to give the channel a little bit of extra support, feel free to check out my membership page. You can click the join button to look at the perks that you get for joining the channel. A couple of the perks that are really prevalent for me right now is you're going to start getting some reactions that are exclusive to members, as well as all of these reactions that you already see public. You will get early access to these videos, as well as be able to watch them ad-free, so you don't have to deal with all the YouTube ads with this. But those are just a few of the things that you can look forward to with you know, joining the channel. And as time goes on, more perks will probably arrive as appropriate. But in the meantime, again, thank you again for checking this out. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will catch you all down the road.